Okay, good evening fellow filmmakers and fellow creative individuals. Hugh Sweeney back here with another video, and this time it's a video related to the newest camera that I purchased, which is this guy, the Blackmagic Cinema camera. Now since I bought this, I've used it a hell of a lot. It's done loads of jobs, it's been really busy, and I gotta say, quite impressed. Shooting nothing but ProRes really, to be honest. And as you can see here on the camera, we got the brand new Sigma lens as well, the Sigma 18-35. Maybe it's not so new now. The Blackmagic Cinema camera is not very good on its own. It's not very ergonomic to use, very awkward. So it's sort of designed to be riggable. And when I was buying this, I came across a very, very good deal. And that was the LanParte, whatever way you want to describe it, cage rig. I also got a battery pack as well, which involves the battery pinch. It also includes the battery. I'll talk more about that in a second. Plus it also includes cables, chargers, stuff like that. Now one thing I noticed was that's the cable for the battery and all that, but the cable for it comes with like 20 different cables, and they are all practically the same size. For example, I have a Tascam DR100 Mark II. I don't know if you can see it there. And I cannot use that with the cables that they provided. It doesn't fit. So yeah, I got to do something about that. I got to get a new cable. Also, when I got it, the base plate that they sent me, this guy here, I don't know. Yeah, pretty much the base plate. It I couldn't lock up one of the rods. These guys are tight. Rod is still loose. Problem with that. Faulty. A little part of it wasn't cut through fully, so the guys organised a brand new one. So thanks for that, and here's the replacement. So that was the first issue that I had with this rig. Now also I noticed that there's a lot of metal. Ooh, there you go. There's a lot of heavy metal parts involved with this. When you're putting it together, you've got a very the camera's robust, but you've got a very delicate screen there, delicate parts. You got to be careful. It's possible, I think, to damage your camera when you're wrapping a cage so closely around it. So you got to be very careful. Even taking it apart to do this video, it was quite awkward trying to unscrew everything. So just bear that in mind. So let's start off building the rig. First off, we have this very large base plate here, and we're gonna fit We're going to fit this new rail to it. There's so many parts. Okay. Now these screws, we got a lot of these stainless screws, and one thing I noticed about them is, and it happens with a lot of rigs, they tend to loosen a little bit. They tend to loosen. Right, so let's unscrew that. We'll align these up together, and let's put that there. Okay, tighten that up there. Now we're going to slide this guy in here. So let's push this guy in here. Okay. So we'll get it roughly around the center there. We'll tighten it up. Now they've got this system as well, which goes on the bottom of the camera. They've very cleverly routed out the whole shape so that it allows the air to go through. So let's see how this looks on the camera. Okay, so we've got the base plate on the bottom right there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to place this piece which attaches the top handle. I'm going to place this over the camera, and I'm going to screw it into the top of the camera. So that goes over the lens like that, very carefully. And then we basically fit this. Now this is screwed in with these little Allen screws or Allen nuts. Again, these are all steel on steel. There's no real washers. There's no washers or dampener. Well, I don't know if that's even a thing. These screws are just straight in, you know. None of the threads are lockable threads. It's all unlockable screws. As I said, when I was taking this apart to do the review, a lot of the screws some of the screws felt loose. You'll see on the top here we got this little guy on the top. First of all, we're going to screw in the top of the camera here, and we're going to use these screws. Again, these are the stainless steel screws. Okay, I'm having difficulty getting those screws in. I really need to get a proper screwdriver for those screws. I feel like I could be damaging the threads here, so I'm just going to pop that out and see what's going on. We need to bed it into position a little bit. Okay, we're almost there with the locking the actual inner cage onto the camera. That unit is completely locked up on the camera now. So let's attach this top handle. Now with this top handle, we got it'll only let you put it on if the screws, if one of these is taken off. So you got to take off one of the green little levers, okay? So I'm going to put that in the middle right there, center it up, and we're going to tighten that. Now I notice that that's taking quite a bit of pressure to get it to lock. It's very loose there, and the screw is quite tight, so it needs a lot of pressure. And you know, one of the things I noticed about this rig is that it's the design. The guys who designed this rig really need to they need to get out and start using them more, because with screws almost touching other screws, I'll show you that now. Areas where it's very hard to tighten off a screw, not very comfortable, and it could be a whole lot better. Not very clever in the design department. Okay, so now we've got this much. Handle is ready. Okay, the handle is it's sort of pinched on at the top. I don't know if that's a good thing. I'd like to see it a little bit more secure. Just gonna tighten up these guys. So we're pretty good so far. Now we've got to attach this guy, and I'm going to use the new one. Oh, that is the new one. So I got to attach this to the base plate now. They've got this hollowed out bottom, you know, to let the air go through, but the part that connects up right against it is solid. Again, the design isn't brilliant. We're going to take this off again. Whoa. You got to be careful with these rigs. You can damage your camera with any, not just this rig, with any rig. I mean, they're so, it's just hard metal everywhere, you know. Okay, we need to get this off. That slides off. So this guy goes on the front here. Let me see. This part of the plate is threaded. This shouldn't be threaded. It should be threaded on the next side, but not this. Man, this is such a fucking piss off. Okay, so that must have taken 15 minutes. I finally got the that plate on there, and now it's time to push through the rails, okay? We're going to use these ones. So that goes through there, and this tightens up on the rail. That locks up. Now we got to leave a little bit of room. Now we'll lock these off tight in a little while when we get it set up right. But that is almost there. Now it's time to put this guy on. There's so many different plates and different slides and fucking, I mean, the base plate for the tripod has to go on yet. This is like the third thing I'm putting on. You know, it shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't have to have so many parts. The more parts you have on anything, the more hassle, the more trouble you're going to have. Okay, I need to lock that out. Now there's just one screw that tightens that up. A lot of this rig's ergonomics is sort of relies on bending metal to keep things tight. Like that screw there is bending a piece of metal in against, you know, the top is it's bending metal. It's crushing metal to grip the top handle, and it's only a small little bit, you know. You wonder sometimes, is your camera going to end up on the ground? Right, there's other things I'm going to talk about, but first I'm going to mount this on the tripod, okay? Okay, right, I've got this far. I'm just going to pull it a little closer here. So right, we have our Blackmagic mounted with the LanParte rig pretty much mounted onto it. Again, to reiterate, so many pieces between the camera and the base here. They seem pretty sturdy, but I don't know why there needs to be so many different link-ups, you know. Less connections is always better. Right, so I'm gonna put my base plate from my tripod onto this base plate. Jesus, it's so confusing. So if you look at what I'm doing, I'm putting my little base plate onto this big one. Now these screws are pretty big. Actually, the Manfrotto screws are far more substantial looking than the ones from LanParte. So I'm just going to center that up, lock it in there. I'm going to use my fork to tighten it once again. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip that into the tripod. And that is going to do that. Okay. I had to tape on the battery pinch because the battery pinch screws actually slipped. They went, the two, these screws on the side here actually just basically broke, and I had to take out the, the green part broke, so I had to take out the threading here and replace and put it back in a different way. I managed to get it to work, it's working fine. But the only thing is you cannot use the, now we're gonna move this. If you look at a rig, a lot of the photos of this rig shows the battery up like this. I don't know why you'd want to put a battery right behind the screen of your camera. That's just ridiculous. I mean, of course you're going to want to get the, you're going to want to get a monitor at some stage, but like you still need to use the screen, so that's just stupid. So, and I'm just going to push the battery so that the battery pinch is in like that. I'm going to tighten this up again. Keep that nicely in against there, and we're going to tighten that one up there. Now I'm going to explain to you what's wrong with this system in a minute. When you buy this, if you buy one of these, you're going to be using the green screws. It's going to be a lot more convenient. Just watch in case they could break. Now that is actually very solid there because it's pushing against the base plate as well. So let's tighten up the rods there now. Okay, that is that. That's looking pretty nifty. Now that's what basically that's all you get with the cage. You know, you add on your bits yourself. I've got the battery here. So let's try out the battery. Now the battery's got a light on it that lights up. So that battery is connected. Now I would prefer, that's locked up that way. I would prefer it to be locking down the way, but I just don't want my battery in front of my screen. So that's a much more economical way. It just means that I have to trust the pinch, that the pinch isn't going to slip, or else we get our battery on the ground. So here's a cable. The cable goes from the battery, which is here, right through. So that is pretty much it. Almost. Now, you might notice that we have a little thing on the front here that is called the focus gear. That is basically just a, it's just a cogged piece of rubber that you tighten up on the lens, okay? The LanParte focus pulls are pretty decent. I think these are one of I think this is one of the best things they make. It's not the cheapest focus pull, but it's got a nice feeling to it, and it's relatively accurate. I'm sure there's better ones in the market, but I'm just gonna put this right up against the lens. Now, one of the things I like about the rig is it's nicely balanced. You can just flick it off Now I can't see what I'm doing here because of the way I'm sitting. You just flick it off like that, you know, holding it one thumb there. It's nicely balanced, and you can actually, you can shoot with it in your hands like that, and it slips into my tripod there very conveniently. Believe it or not, this large top plate makes it very, it makes it align up to the tripod very easy. It just kind of lands down flat and slides in. So that is that.
Well, there you have it, a rig for the famous Blackmagic camera. I already bought a LanParte rig for my DSLR, and to be honest, it wasn't too bad. But this rig falls short a lot and it doesn't impress me. It's full of flaws. Screws that remount and break, too many connections and parts, shortcuts and dodgy overlapping fixings that are just hilarious. LanParte have gone to a lot of effort designing this rig, or should I say cage, but they've fallen short. Should you buy it? My answer is, well, yes, if you get a really good deal, but if you don't and you're forced to pay the full price, I would say maybe have a look at some other options.
Thanks for watching the video, folks. I'm gonna have more videos soon with different filming tips, tricks. I'm gonna look at different products as well. I'm gonna have a look at some microphones. We'll have a look at some software, some color correction, anything to do with being creative and making movies and stuff like that. So that's what my channel is all about. Plus a bit of sound, a little bit of effects. It's all good, man. Hugh Sweeney is the name, and come back again and watch more videos. And thanks for watching this one. And if you do get one of these rigs, I hope it works out for you, and just be careful. Okay, thanks for now and bye.